Hello, good morning.
Morning po, sir.
Okay, so this morning you're going to learn about the object-oriented application development in Java. So this will be the part 1. In this topic, we're going to talk about objects and classes. We're going to talk about the object's visibility. We are going to we're going to design and use class diagram. Okay, so we're going to talk about encapsulation, data abstraction, and information hiding as one of the paradigm of object-oriented. And lastly, you're going to code object-defining classes and application program that make use of the object-defining classes. In our previous lesson, we use packages like Swing, Java FX, pre-made classes, so may mga classes na available na tayo ginagamit. So in this case, we're going to create our own template. We're going to create our own class, we're going to model, so I will teach you or I will show you and explain how to create class diagram. And yung class diagram, we're going to code object-defining class from the diagram. Okay? Then, let's begin with objects and classes. Okay. So, objects and classes are the most important elements or the most important concept in object-oriented application development. So, objects are entity with two primary features. Objects has attributes and behaviors. So, we could say objects have states and methods. So, example of objects. So, I know you are all familiar with this because you already have your object-oriented application object-oriented OOP, object-oriented programming languages. So you have OOP1 and OOP2. So we're going to have a quick review of this, about objects. So example of objects in real world. So we could have tree, car, person, student, teacher, course, etc. So these objects, a tree can have a feature, can have attributes and behavior. So same as car, person, student. So these are the example of objects. And then the term instance variable. So in under object, so we have instance variable and instant method. So sabi nga natin, objects can have attributes and behavior. So instance variable is used to describe the attribute or the object's feature, object's attribute. And the term instance method or simply method describes the behavior of the object. So we are talking about classes and objects. So we can define, we can say that object is an instance of a class. So the term instance or instance. So if we say instance, so instance or instantiation is also known as construction or creation. So if we say class is object is an instance of class, so we can create objects using class. For example, what is the class? So we can define class as template or blueprint of an object. Okay, so again, so object is an instance of a class and may be called as instance or class objects. Okay, so the term instantiation is also known as construction or creation of objects. Classes are blueprint or set of instruction to build specific type of objects. So these are extensible program code, template for creating objects, which can include states and behavior. So classes include states and behavior. So classes, objects as state and behavior. So they have attributes and behavior. Okay, so not all classes can be instantiated. Actually, there are two kinds of classes. So there are abstract classes and concrete classes. So concrete classes So these are classes that can be instantiated. So we can create objects using concrete classes. While abstract classes, we cannot create or we cannot instantiate object using abstract classes. So in this session, we're going to create a class diagram that is concrete. So we're going to create a concrete class, and then we can identify whether the following classes are concrete or abstract through the use of the keyword abstract. So if we have abstract class, so the keyword abstract refers that this class is an abstract class. Okay, so next, so we have objects and attributes. So objects are characteristics or features that defines the object. So for instance, so we have object or we have a class car. So the object is the car. So we're going to give attribute, no? So attributes again is the characteristic or feature that defines the object. So if we have car, so can you give me example of the attribute or the characteristic? Color. Yeah, very good. So Mr. Evangelista, thank you. Color, how about?
Model po.
Model, thank you. How about Grayson? Can you give me some example of the attribute or characteristic of the object or car?
Engine po.
Engine. So, pwedeng type ng engine. Pwedeng yan, type of engine. So, very good. How about Harold James?
Weight.
Weight. Very good. Harold James. Weight. How about Daryl? Type of car. So, pwede yung brand. Ano? So, pwede. Very good. Daryl. How about Israel?
Speed po, sir.
Yeah, speed. So, yung kanyang speed or pwedeng speed limit. Okay, so these are some of the example of the object's attributes. So, we could have name, height, width, size, weight, color, brand, etc. So, yan. So, anything that describes or that gives the feature or that defines the object, so that we can call this as object's attribute. How about object's behavior? So what is object behavior? Anybody? Can you define? So what is object's behavior? Anybody? Who wants to answer?
Sir, kung ano yung nagagawa ng object na yun.
Okay, very good. So yan. So kung ano yung nagagawa ng object na yun, so that is the behavior. So we could define object as the method, action, operation, or process that describe what the object can do. So, tama si Lance. Lance, ikaw ba yun?
Opo, sir.
Yes, okay. So, tama. So, what the object can do, so that is the object's behavior. So, if we have car, so how can, so what are the examples of the car's behavior? So, can you give me some example? Okay, speed ba? Okay, so pwedeng stop, pwedeng start, pwedeng stop, pwedeng break, so pwede siya ay mag-change ng color, pwedeng mag-change ng
drive.
Yan. So those are some of the examples, Yan. Okay, so this is the example. So in creating class in programs, so we could have, what do you call this? So we have these setter methods and getter methods. Okay, so we're going to talk about it later. So example of these are the object's behavior. So we could set the name of the object, we could get the name, we could set the color, the height, the width, etc. So those are the object's behavior. Okay, so what about object's visibility? So do you have any idea of what object's visibility? Anybody? So objects.
Sir, kung private or public.
Okay, so the use of the access modifier, very good. So those are the object's visibility. So the access modifier describes and defines the visibility or the instance variable, method, and object. So we could, the typical access modifier that we can use is the private, public, or protected. So, the access modifier can be private. Yan, nabanggit na natin kanina. It can be either public, private, or protected. So, the object's visibility, so we use private, so the visibility, private visibility for variables. So, if we use private, so the visibility is within its defining class. Meaning, so hindi the particular class or particular object cannot be used outside that object. So, ibig sabihin, kung dineclare natin siya within that class or within that object, magagamit lang siya within that object or within that class. Okay, the other access modifier is public. So, this is a keyword that is used. It means that the visibility or the access can be in any class. So, we use public, typically, for example, we're going to create class. So, we use public class. So, meaning this class can be used by other class. So, that's why we're using the keyword public. Okay, then we have the protected. So, the protected, so it implies that the instance variable has visibility only in subclasses of that class or classes in the same package. So, those are the three typical access modifiers that we can use. Okay, so why do we use visibility or why visibility is important? So, it is a matter of security. So, the instance variable helps define exactly what an object is. So, through visibility, accessing and manipulating other classes without using carefully planned procedure can be avoided. Okay. In creating programs, we use diagrams or tools to illustrate our program. So, for example, we're going to use flowchart to show the logic or the sequence. So, class diagram is used to illustrate, to show the static view of a class or application. We could define a class diagram as a component of UML or Unified Modeling Language. So, class diagram, so it defines static or fixed view of a class. So, if we want to describe our class, ang titignan natin would be the class diagram. Kung sa application program, kung gusto natin makita yung sequence or yung flow ng program, we're going to use flowchart. Okay, so in this session, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to draw or use class diagram. Class diagram defines both the attributes and the behavior of a specific class. Okay, so it also captures the constraints or relationship between classes on the system. Okay, so this is an example of class diagram. In this example, so we have student. So the attributes of student are student ID, name, course, year, level. So you could also add, So in this example, ito lang yung nakalagay. So you could also add address, contact number, gender, So, under ng student. So, for this example, so we only have four attributes. And then, dito naman sa baba, so we have these methods or behavior. Yan. So, basically, if we go, we're going to draw a class diagram. So, the class diagram contains three sections. The upper section contains the name of the class. So, our class is student. So, this section is always required whenever you draw a class diagram. You should place the name of the class. Second, or the middle section contains the attributes of the class. Use this section to describe attributes, qualities of a class. This is only required when describing specific instances of a class. And then, the bottom section contains the class operation. So, displayed in list. So, we have this. Set course, set name, set year level, get course. So those are the methods of this class. Okay. So in class diagram, so we could have different symbols. So katulad ng nabanggit natin, so we could use the access modifier or the visibility. So in these examples, you can see before the properties or the attributes, so we have this minus sign. The minus sign represents private and the plus sign represents public. Okay, so there are different symbols used to denote the access modifier or visibility of attributes or method in a class. The access modifier can use plus for public, minus for private, hashtag for protected field or package, slash for derived, underline for static attributes and methods. Okay, so the most commonly used nga is public and private. Okay. Then the class diagram. Okay, so the lower section, or the third component or the third compartment of the class diagram or the bottom section includes both mutator and accessor method. If we say mutator, so mutator means set or setter methods. The accessor or the assessor means to get or the getter method. The term mutator means change and assessor means retrieve value. So these sets of methods are used to assign and get values from the instance variable. Okay, so we are going to talk about encapsulation and data hiding. So encapsulation is a object-oriented programming paradigm, OOP paradigm. Okay, so data encapsulation, this is a mechanism of bundling data and the function that use them. So in encapsulation, so we put the object or the class within, or we bundle the data and the function katulad nung ginawa natin kanina. So we have attributes and methods within a specific class. Data abstraction is a mechanism of exposing only the interface or interfaces, hiding the implementation and details from the user. Okay. Encapsulation, this is object-oriented programming concept that traps data and functions and manipulates the data together. So it keeps both safe from outside interference, misuse. The encapsulation led to important OOP concept of abstraction and data hiding. Okay, so this is an example of encapsulation. So we have student. So for example, ang tawag lang natin ay student. So we refer this as student. Pero yung student, it includes attributes and behavior. So basta sinasabi lang natin siya na student, no? So we encapsulate siya. So encapsulation means bundling the attributes and the behavior. So in this example, so we have invoice. So we just refer it to invoice, but the invoice contains attributes. Ito yung mga attributes and behaviors. Ito naman yung mga attributes. And so this is an example of our class diagram. For data abstraction. So data abstraction is a process in which only interfaces are exposed to the user, thus hiding the implementation and details away from the user. And then the term information hiding refers to the process of concealing information about how an object is implemented within the class. Okay. So to give us an example, so let's have this problem statement. So in dealing with the problems, so we use sequence of steps, So mamaya pakita natin. So let's read first the problem statement. So who wants to volunteer to read the problem statement? Sino gustong mag-volunteer? Sige, piliin ko na lang to since siya naman yung naunang Lance, can you read the problem statement?
Sige po, sir.
Okay, thank you.
The domain of the project will be a selling of clothes. In this application, the sale is accomplished by providing an invoice that contains invoice number, date of sale, and the total amount for the sale. The application allows the salesperson to enter an invoice number and total. The invoice date comes from the system clock of the computer because the manager offers 5% discount to the store's best customers. There are two types of invoice, the one with no discount and the one with 5% discount.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Lance. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is our problem statement. So in this problem statement, we can create we could come up a solution. So to solve this problem statement, so we need to perform steps or series of steps. So whether we're using object OOP or object-oriented application approach or procedural approach. So these are steps applicable solving a particular problem. Okay? So we have 5 steps. Okay, Daryl, sige. Can you read the steps to be performed?
Steps to be performed. 1. Understand the problem. 2. Designing or planning the application. 3. Write the code. 4. Compile and test. 5. Deploy the application.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you very much. Okay, so these are the steps to be carried out or to be performed. So first, we need to understand the problem. Okay, so let's go back and let's have this problem statement. So we need to understand. So what is the domain? So the domain would be selling of clothes. So in this program or in this application, so we're going to have sales. So let's have this annotated. So we have sale. So in order to have sale, so we're going to have an invoice. So let's have this invoice. So the invoice, so we're going to create a class or we're going to have a program that produces invoice. And then so let's have a model of invoice. So ngayon, let's identify what are the attributes in this invoice. So sabi nga, ano ngayon yung characteristic? Sabi natin, di ba, object can have attributes and behavior. So what are the characteristics or what are the attributes of the invoice? So using this problem statement, so can we identify the problem state, the attributes? So can you give me some examples? So what are the attributes that we can include in the invoice?
Sir, invoice number.
Okay, very good. So thank you. So we have the invoice number. What else? Invoice number lang ba?
Date of sale.
Okay, very good. The date of sale. So where is the date of sale? Ito, date of sale. Ano pa?
Total amount po.
Okay, the total amount can also be the attribute or the property of the invoice. What else? Meron pa? Invoice number, date of sale.
Sir, the invoice date.
Date of sale. So invoice date. So we could consider that the date of sale would be the invoice date. Okay, pwede din naman. Invoice date. So what else? What else? So ito nga, date. Date of sale, invoice date. Yan. We could have this. Invoice date. Ano pa? Meron pa ba?
Sir, yung discount.
Yes, very good. So, invoice with discount. So, ibig sabihin, so we have invoice type. So, we have types. So, types of invoice. Types of invoice. So, there are 2 types of invoice. Very good. So, ano yung dalawang klase? Invoice with discount and invoice without discount. What else? Meron pa kayong nakikita? Meron pa kayong nakikita na pwede natin gamitin as attribute ng invoice? Okay, so siguro wala na. So kung wala na, so na-identify na natin. So ngayon, we could create our class diagram. So sabi natin, so kung natapos na tayong mag-understand ng problem, so let's design or plan the application. So in this example, since we're going to create 2 class, yung isa yung object defining class and then yung isa yung application program, na gagamitin natin yung ginawa natin na template or yung invoice. So para makagawa tayo ng template, so we could use class diagram to create model for object defining class and flowchart for the to map the sequence or flow of the application. And then, so this would be our class diagram. So sabi natin kanina, so we have invoice number. So we have these are the selected attributes. So we have invoice date for the date of sale, invoice type. So this is the invoice type can be discount or without discount. And then we have invoice total. Ito pala yung hindi natin na isama kanina. So we have also discount percent. So we have discount. So we have 5% yung binibigay na discount. So these are the attributes. So as you can see in this example, so we have, kung napansin niyo, no? So invoice number, so these are the attributes. And then this, yung nakikita nyo dito sa gawing kanan, ito. So ano yung nakikita nyo dito? So we have, ano yung nakikita nyo dito sa gawing kanan?
Data type, sir.
Yes, okay. O yung object type, data type or object type nung ating attributes. So invoice number would be string, invoice date would be date, invoice type would be integer, and so on. And then, so this would be the attribute, and this is our class name. So this is our class name, this is attribute, and this will be the container of our method. So in this method, so we have the setter methods and the getter methods. So this is our setter method. So the setter method, this is our setter method, and this is our getter methods. So we have set invoice total. This is the constructor. So the constructor contains 3 parameters. So we have number. The number is the invoice number, and then we have total. So this is the invoice total, and then the type. So it is yung may discount or without discount. O yung invoice type. Okay, so aside from creating a class diagram, okay, so do you have question pa before tayo mag-proceed? Sir, saan po natin nakukuha itong mga method natin? Tanong nyo din ba ito? So, itong mga setter and getter methods natin, ginagawa natin yan para ma-access natin or itong mga attributes ng invoice. So, yun kasi yung isa sa mechanism na tinatawag na encapsulation. So, sa invoice, so para ma-access natin yung ating mga fields, so we use public methods to access private fields. So, yun yung ginagawa natin sa data hiding and then encapsulation. Okay, so aside from class diagram, we also have this, we have flow chart. So the flow chart is the sequence. So we're going to use this, in invoice app, invoice app.class. So the sequence would be, we're going to start, we're going to declare variables, we're going to input, we're going to get input from the user. So input would be the invoice day, invoice type, invoice number, invoice total, and then we're going to the fourth process would be instantiate invoice object, and then we're going to display. Then quit. So we have this loop. So if the user click yes, so ibig sabihin magkukwit na, yes, so the stop, so it stops, and then if the user clicks no, so mag-input ulit. So yan yung magiging sequence ng ating application. So etong nasa gawi dito, so this would be the template of our invoice. Okay. So ngayon, so kung ito yung ating invoice, ito yon. So sinulat natin dito. So ngayon i-code na natin siya. So paano ba natin siya i-code? So yung first code would be we're going to import java.util. So util is utility. So in this, so kaya tayo nag-i-import ng utility because of the date. So kailangan natin yung date. So date is under utility package. Okay, so the class name is invoice. Para magawa natin yung class na to, so we have public class So public is access modifier. So we're creating invoice. And then we have to declare the instance variable. So what are the instance variables? So we have invoice number. So what is the data type? String. So first we have private. So saan nang galing yung private? So the minus sign is minus sign represents private. And then this is our data type, string, and then invoice number. So ayun yung code natin. And then for private date, invoice date, so this would be the code for this. And then for invoice type, so this is integer, invoice type. So this would be the code. And then we have invoice, so we have private, so we have private, and then we have double invoice total. So this would be the code. And then we have private double. So we have private double discount percentage. So yun naman yung code niya. And then we have to define the constructor. So this is our constructor. So to define our constructor, so we use public. So we use public last time, and then the invoice, and then yung ating parameter. So we have number, total, saka type. So inside this constructor, we are going to initialize. We're going to initialize the value of our attributes. Okay, so paano natin siya na-initialize? So kung ano yung pagka nag-create tayo ng object, so kung ano yung invoice number na ilalagay ni user kapag nag-initialize or nag-create ng invoice number, invoice total, invoice type, yun yung magiging value ng mga attributes natin sa loob ng invoice. So we have number, yung number i-assign dun sa invoice number. Yung invoice date, hindi naman yan manggagaling sa user, kaya we use new date. So manggagaling yan sa system clock. And then we have type, yung type, ito, manggagaling yan sa user. And then yung total, so yung invoice total, so gumamit tayo ng set invoice total na method. So i-define ngayon natin itong set invoice total. So set invoice total, so we have two arguments, total and type. So saan manggagaling yung total? So total would be manggagaling siya dito, total, and then type, so para mai-set niya yung invoice total. So yan yung laman ng constructor. Next, we have the mutator. So mutator is the setter method, set invoice. Okay, so in set invoice total, so we have the mutator, set invoice total, so we have two arguments, total and type. So sabi natin, if there are two types of invoice, one with discount and the other one is without discount. So if the user type number 2, so there would be, if the type so would be 2, so meron siyang 5% na discount. So kung tinype ni user na dun sa invoice type is any number, so ibig sabihin wala siyang discount. So magkaka-discount lang siya kapag nag-type ng 2. So discount percentage is equal to 0.05. Then we compute the discount, the total, and assign it to invoice total. Or if the value of the type is any number except 2, so ibig sabihin wala siyang discount. So the value of the invoice total is equal to the invoice, the value of the invoice total. Okay. So for the accessor method, ginagamit natin yung accessor method or getter method to return the value of our attributes. So we have here, so we have get invoice number. Ang pag ginamit natin itong method na to, we're going to get value which is string. So we have return invoice number. So ang makukuha natin dito is string. Okay, so the other get method, so we have get date. So get invoice date, and then we have date. So, ang makukuha natin dito would be invoice date. So, ito yung invoice date natin. Yan yung makukuha. Kasi, in-initialize natin using this constructor. So, dito naman yung getter methods. So, para makuha yung invoice type, so we use the public int get invoice type. Kung napapansin nyo, no, kung ano yung ating return type, yun yung nakalagay dito. And then, we just place return, no? And then this one, so we have this discount percent and then invoice total. Yan. So we end the class. So etong class diagram natin, maiko-code natin siya, maiko-convert natin siya into code, ano? Directly, ano? Using this example. So, ginawa natin ito. So, this is our template. So, ano napansin nyo dito? So, this class is object-defining class. Kung napansin nyo, wala tayong main method. So, pwede yung mag-run, pwede yan mag-compile, pero hindi magra-run. Bakit hindi magra-run? Kasi wala siyang main method. So, ibig sabihin, para mag-run siya, so kailangan natin ng main method, i-access natin or gagamitin natin katulad ng mga ginagawa natin sa previous lesson natin, di ba? Nag-i-import tayo or gumagamit tayo ng mga pre-made class. So, in this example, tayo yung gagawa ng sarili natin class, in which we create invoice template or invoice class. Okay, so to write the code naman for the application, so ito pala, isi-save natin to as invoice.class. So, the file name would be invoice.class. And then for this, so we have invoice app, so the class name would be invoice app. So para magawa natin yung user interface, we use the swing package, javax.swing, and then we're going to use JOptionPaint. So kung ayaw nyo ng JOptionPaint, gusto nyo gumamit ng sarili or mag-create ng sarili nyo ng window or ng frame, so pwede nyo naman din gawin. So to make this more simple, so I just use JOptionPaint or dialog box. Okay, so we have public class invoice app. So our class is invoice app. And then ito na yung ating keyword, ito yung ating main method, public static void main string arg. Okay, so and then we declare and initialize the variables. Ano yung mga variables na kailangan natin? So, whenever we use JOptionPaint, ang nakukuha natin na value is string. So, we have string choice, string number, string total, string type, and then string output. So, yung number, total, and type, so, nilagyan natin siya ng initial value. Okay, so yung value ng type naman, initialize natin as 0. So we have double total, so the initial value is 0. So we are declaring and initializing variables. So ngayon, we're going to declare invoice object. So para magawa naman natin yun, invoice, so we use our class yung ginawa natin, invoice, and then the object name is invoice. Ang value niya is none. Ayan. And then we have while, so ibig sabihin na to, so we have choice equals ignore case, regardless kung capital or big letter. So kapag so dito gagawin niya to, habang ang value na to ay kahit na anong value except x, big or small. So, ibig sabihin, pag nag-type si user ng X or napili ni user yung X, big or capital letter. Katulad na to, so once na nag-quit, mag-quit. So, pagka kinlik yung X, so siya ay mag-quit. Okay, so we get the user input. So, we use JOptionPaint. Nag-enter siya ng invoice number. And then, we have invoice total. And then we convert the string to double. So we have double that parse. We convert the total. And then we have JOptionPaint. So to show the to get the invoice So we have the J option pane, get invoice. And then we have this invoice number, invoice total, and then we have the invoice type. And then we convert string to integer. Yan. So to convert integer, so we have integer.parseInt. And then we create the object. So ito yung kinreate natin. Nag-initialize tayo ng object, invoice. So we have inv invoice. And then we created that object. So new invoice, and then we have 3 parameters, invoice number, total, and type. Saan manggagaling yung invoice string number? So, ito yun. So, we have str number, yung total, ito, yung type, ito. Okay, so we prepared the output. So, this would be the output. So, we format, so we display, so we have this output. Medyo mahaba lang, so we use a format method para maiayos yung ating output. And then we have the option pane, so we display the output. So kung ano yung magiging value ng string natin, yun yung magiging output natin dun sa pang-apat na dialog box. And then we terminate the loop, and then we terminate the main method. Okay. So after natin yun ma-compile, so we have 2 programs, or we have 2 class. So invoice app, and then we have invoice. So ngayon kailangan na natin siyang i-compile and test. Okay, so let's do it. So meron ako ditong example. So ito yung example natin. So we have invoice.java. So this notepad contains yung code natin na diniscuss kanina. So, ito yung, ang laman na to is yung nandito sa PowerPoint presentation natin. The other one would be the invoice app. Yan. So, this would be the content of the invoice. Okay. And then we're going to run it. So, to run it, so we're going to locate. So, we have CD desktop kasi nasa desktop, CD sample, and then we're going to compile. So javac space asterisk.java. Okay, and then, yan. So, we compile our Java application. So, we compile the 2 classes. So, wala naman siyang error. And then, yan, we could try to run. Ang may run lang natin, so, we have Java invoice. Sa palagay nyo magra-run to. Hindi siya magra-run. Yan. Sasabihin niya is, yan. So, could not find the main. Because, invoice don't have main method. So, ang magra-run lang dyan is yung my main method, which is invoice app. Invoice app dot, wala na pala. Invoice app, Okay, then we compile and run. And then, so we have invoice number 1. So, we have invoice total was 1,000. Invoice type is 1. So, ito na yung output natin. So, wala siyang discount. So, kung gusto uli natin mag-enter, so, press any key. Or press enter or press OK. So mag-input ulit tayo ng invoice total. Okay, and then kung gusto natin na may discount, so we just press number 2. So we have this 5% discount. So to terminate, so we have X. So after compiling, so ito na yung na-compile and test, ito yung naging output natin, And then after compiling, so we're going to deploy the application. So after compiling and testing, so we are going to deploy our application. So we could have our executable file. So for example, so we have this going to deploy our application by creating a shortcut or executable file. So una natin gagawin is we're going to create, so this would be the step. So we're going to create a manifest file. So we're going to create a new text document. Papangalanan natin siya ng manifest. Okay, so manifest.txt. I-open natin ito. And then we're going to set the main class. Main class. Colon. So, alin dito sa class natin? So, we have invoiceApp.class and invoice.class. So, alin dito yung pinaka-main class natin? So, yung merong main method. So, ang merong main method is invoiceApp. So, that would be our invoiceApp, our main class. So, we have invoiceApp. No? So, that would be our, and then, you need to have 2 enters. Ano? So, kailangan ng 2 enter. So, dapat yung cursor ninyo ay and then, we're going to save. Similar to this. So, I have this, ano, so we have main class, and then we have 2 enters. So, dapat nandito yung cursor. Okay, so, Katrina. So, we have manifest.txt. So, and then, nandito yung enter. So, after natin maka-create, after creating manifest, so, using the command prompt, so, siguraduhin nyo yung ating directory kung saan nakalagay yung path. So, ito yung magiging code natin to create executable file. So, we're going to create a jar file or Java archive. So, we have jar. Instead of Java C compiling, so we're going to create archive, Java archive. So, we have jar. And then, we have create file manifest. CFM, jar, CFM, create file manifest. Ano yung pangalan ng jar file natin? So, for example, ang pangalan ng jar file natin is invoice. Invoice. So, this will be invoice. So, this will be our jar file. So, invoice.jar space. Susunod na ilalagay natin dito ay yung laman ng jar file natin. So, unahin natin yung manifest. So, we have manifest.text. And then the other one, so we have 2 classes. So, we have invoice.class. And then we have invoiceApp.class. So, we have invoiceApp.class. So, we have invoice. So, we have 3 files na ilalagay dun sa jar file. So, the code is jar, CFM, create file manifest. And then, we have invoice.jar. So, this is the jar file. And then, we press enter. Yan. So, kung napansin nyo dito, magkakaroon siya ng, kung ano yung pinangalan nyo dun sa jar file, yun na yung magiging file natin dito, ma-add dun sa ating folder, at nakalagay siya ay executable jar file. So ngayon, so pagka binuksan ni user ito, so once na, kahit ito na lang ibigay mo sa kanya, or ito na yung executable, once na inopen to, may execute na yung inyong application. So we have now the jar file, ano, or yung executable file. Yan. Deploying the application, yan, that's it. So that is the end of our